The fire started with a scream. A piercing, terrified scream that shattered the quiet afternoon in the suburbs of Atlanta. 8-year-old Zara Johnson, a little black girl with bright eyes and a heart far bigger than her years, was skipping home from school when she saw smoke rising from the white mansion on the hill, the one everyone in the neighborhood whispered about. That was the Carter Mansion, home of billionaire Richard Carter, CEO of a global tech empire. Everyone knew it, everyone admired it, but no one ever dared to go near. Zara froze for a moment. The thick gray smoke swirled upward, and then she heard it again, a faint, panicked cry for help. Help! Somebody help me! Zara didn't think twice. Her backpack hit the ground as her small legs sprinted toward the gate. She pushed through the open driveway, coughing as the air thickened with burning wood and plastic. Inside the gate, a luxury car sat untouched, but the front door of the mansion was cracked open, flames licking the curtains near the stairs. Hello! Zara yelled, shielding her face with her arm. Is anybody in there? Then she heard it again, this time, closer. A little girl's voice. Please, I'm in here, I can't get out. Zara's heart pounded. She was scared, but she was also stubborn, the kind of child who would rather face a storm than walk away from someone in need. She wrapped her sweater around her mouth and stepped inside. Dash dash dash. Inside, smoke filled the grand foyer. The fire was spreading fast from the kitchen toward the stairs. Where are you? Zara shouted. Up here, came the weak reply. I'm in my room. Zara squinted through the smoke and spotted a staircase. The railing was hot to touch. She pulled her sleeve over her hand and climbed up, coughing, eyes burning. Halfway up, the ceiling creaked loudly. Bits of ash fell like snow. At the top, she saw her, a blonde girl, maybe 6 years old, trapped behind a fallen bookshelf. She was crying, clutching a stuffed rabbit, her little dress smudged with soot. Don't move, Zara said. I'm coming. She rushed over, trying to push the heavy shelf away. It didn't budge. Then she remembered something her mom always said. When you can't move something alone, use your legs. So Zara planted her feet, pushed with all her strength, and the shelf finally tilted enough for the little girl to crawl out. Come on, Zara said, grabbing her hand. We have to go. But as they turned, the stairs behind them collapsed with a roar. They were trapped upstairs. The blonde girl, Emily Carter, though Zara didn't know that yet, began to sob harder. What do we do now? Zara looked around frantically. Then she saw a window. This way, she said, dragging Emily toward it. The window was jammed, but Zara banged on it with her elbow until the glass cracked. She used her sweater to cover her hands, pushed out the shards, and looked down. It was a long drop, but there was a tree nearby, its branches reaching close enough. Hold on to me, Zara said firmly. Emily hesitated, trembling. I'm scared too, Zara admitted. But we can be brave together. She helped Emily climb out first, guiding her to step onto the nearest branch. It bent under their weight, but held. Slowly, carefully, they made their way down, until the last branch snapped. They fell the final few feet and landed hard on the grass, rolling away from the house as firefighters pulled up, sirens wailing. The girls were coughing, shaking, covered in soot, but alive. Dash dash dash. When billionaire Richard Carter arrived 10 minutes later, his heart nearly stopped. His mansion was a burning skeleton, and paramedics were loading his daughter into an ambulance. Emily, he cried, running forward. Daddy, Emily shouted, weakly reaching for him. I'm okay, she saved me. Richard froze. Who saved you, sweetheart? Emily pointed to the little girl sitting nearby, wrapped in a blanket, her small hands shaking. Her, the girl from the street. She came in the fire. Richard turned. For a moment, he couldn't believe it. This tiny, soot-covered girl had run into his burning house to save his daughter. He walked over slowly. You went inside. Zara nodded, eyes wide. She was crying. I couldn't just leave her. The billionaire knelt down, speechless. No one had ever risked their life for his family. Not his business partners, not his so-called friends, but this child had. What's your name, sweetheart? He asked softly. Zara Johnson. Richard's expression flickered. That name, he knew it. He turned to one of the firefighters. Johnson, from the community housing area nearby. The firefighter nodded. Yeah, her mom's a nurse's aide at the county hospital. Works 2 jobs. Good family. Richard felt something twist inside him, guilt. He remembered that neighborhood. He'd driven past it once and called it, the poor side of town. He'd even fought against a proposal to build a public park there, calling it, a waste of company funds. Now the daughter of that same neighborhood had saved his child's life. The next day, headlines exploded. Little black girl saves billionaire's daughter from mansion fire. Reporters camped outside the hospital. The world fell in love with Amara's courage. But to her, none of that mattered. She just wanted to know if Emily was okay. When Richard saw her again, she was sitting quietly in the hospital waiting room, still wearing borrowed clothes. He walked over and sat beside her. "You saved my world," he said quietly. Amara blushed. "She's my friend now," she said simply. Richard smiled, for the first time in a long time, not as a CEO, but as a father. "She'd like that." After a moment of silence, he asked, "Is your mother here?" Amara nodded. Her mother, Nina Johnson, entered just then, exhausted from a night shift, still in her scrubs. "I can't thank you enough," Richard said, standing. "Your daughter is a hero." Nina's eyes filled with tears. "She just did what she thought was right." Richard paused. "Then maybe she learned that from you." Weeks later, Amara's life changed. Richard visited their small apartment, bringing flowers, books, and something else, an envelope. Inside was a full scholarship to the best private academy in the city. "For Amara," he said. "And for her dreams." Nina shook her head. "We can't accept that." "You can," Richard interrupted gently. "Because this isn't charity, it's gratitude." Amara's eyes lit up. "Does that mean I get to go to school with Emily?" Richard smiled. "Yes. Emily's been asking every day." The two girls became inseparable. Where Emily was shy and polite, Amara was bold and curious. They balanced each other, two hearts that had met in the fire. Richard watched them grow together, always remembering that day, the day he learned that courage and goodness have no color, no wealth, no boundary. Years later, at a charity gala, Richard took the stage and told their story. His voice broke as he said, "A child from the neighborhood I once ignored saved my daughter's life. She reminded me of something money can't buy, humanity." He then announced a new foundation, the Zara Johnson Courage Fund, dedicated to helping children from underserved communities get education and safety support. Amara, now a teenager, stood beside him, radiant, proud, and humble as ever. When reporters asked her what made her run into the fire that day, she said, "I didn't think about being brave. I just thought someone needed help." And in that simple answer lay a truth that echoed through every heart in the room: sometimes, the smallest hands carry the greatest courage. The billionaire wiped his eyes as the audience rose to their feet, applauding. Because that little black girl, once just another face on the street, had not only saved his daughter. She had saved him too. Would you like me to write a short emotional YouTube description and 5 promotional lines for this story like you usually use for your videos?